Hi everyone and welcome to Creative Cakes by Sharon. Today I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous but simple Christmas wreath. So let's get started. Today I'm using a store-bought sponge, a little roller, a palette knife, a balling tool, a toothpick, some green buttercream frosting, some red sanding sugar, two little shallow bowls. I've got some water in one, two round cutters, a small one and a little larger one, and some fondant. I've got three different colour greens and a red. The first thing I need to do is cut out the centre of my sponge. I can use either side of the cutter, and once I've done that, can either eat this little piece or give it to the kids to decorate. The next thing I need to do is cover the entire cake with the green buttercream frosting, and the easiest way to do this is by piping right around the cake. Because the centre is a little bit crumbly, it's much easier to pipe this rather than just rubbing it on with the palette knife. Make sure you cover all the way down to the bottom of the sides, and don't worry about getting it too neat. It needs to be a nice generous layer. To make it a bit easier to decorate, I'm using a little cake stand, and I'm going to put a little piece of rubber material or rubber coaster to make sure that my cake board doesn't slide off the cake stand. So now I can start the decorating process. So with one of the shades of green fondant, I roll it out very thin, and as you get thinner you may need to use your palette knife to lift it up. You can see here it's only about 1 or 2 mil thin. Because this is quite a small cake, you want your fondant rolled thin and dainty. Then taking the smaller round cutter, cut out a series of circles, and then slowly lift it up with the palette knife and squeeze it in between your fingers, so you get a beautiful little ruffle. So again, just bring all your 5 fingers together and squeeze the fondant gently. I'm just closing my fingers together like that. Each ruffle will be slightly different to the previous one, and that's fine, it just adds texture. There is another way to make this ruffle, and it's by folding it in half and half again. But you get a very closed ruffle, which I prefer for this particular cake to make it more of an open ruffle and a bit more frilly. So I'm just going to go ahead and make ruffles out of all of the fondant circles that I've cut and get ready to attach them. So now we're going to use the balling tool. Picking up one of the ruffles, just gently press it into the frosting on the cake. So make sure you don't poke a hole through the ruffle with the balling tool because the fondant is quite soft, but just scatter this around the cake. Because I'm using different shades of green, I'm just scattering it around to get a nice effect, but if you were doing it all in one colour, you could just simply put the ruffles all in one section and work around in sections of the cake. So you can see again with the darker shade of green, I've just rolled it out, created all my ruffles, and then attaching them here and there to the cake. Now I'm using my lightest shade of green fondant, and I'm going to make ruffles to fill the remainder of the cake up. So I just have to roll out the fondant, cut the circles and create the ruffles with my fingers, and keep filling the cake until there are no more gaps. Make sure you remember to go right to the very bottom and to the centre of the circle on the inside of the cake. As you're nearing the end, your buttercream frosting might become a little bit dry. And I just want to show you when you're filling in your gaps with your ruffle, you might need to adhere that ruffle with a little bit of water around the edges to the other ruffles to just ensure that it sticks and doesn't come loose and fall out. To make the pretty red baubles that are on the Christmas wreath, I'll put some of my red sanding sugar into a little bowl. I only need a very little amount of this sanding sugar, and now grab my toothpick so it's close by. Then I'm going to roll my fondant into a long sausage and then cut it into about 9 or 10 small even sized pieces. Then I'm going to roll each of them into nice little round ball shapes in preparation for the next step. Now to make the baubles all sparkly and glittery, I gently insert the toothpick a little way into the ball and lightly dip it into the water, tapping off any excess. And then with the sanding sugar, I just roll my little ball of fondant into the sanding sugar And you can see there it's adhered really nicely. If you need to, you can use your finger to gently push in any of the sanding sugar that's sticking out, and then just gently place it anywhere on the wreath that you like and give it a little press so that it sticks to the ruffles. Now it's just a matter of repeating that process for the remaining baubles, and make sure that you scatter them nice and randomly around the wreath, and you end up with a very pretty, quite simple wreath that you could use as a table centerpiece or give to friends and family as a personalized gift. And don't forget that you can make them in different colors, like the red one that I've made earlier. You could make blue with silver. The choices are endless. Have a great Christmas and thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more great videos.